Marcus Chen stared at his computer screen, rubbing his tired eyes. Another 14-hour day at the tech company had left him exhausted. His small apartment looked like a disaster zone. Empty pizza boxes towered on the counter, dirty clothes covered the floor, and dust coated every surface. "I need help," he muttered, scrolling through the RoboServe website. The company promised the latest in artificial intelligence home assistants. Their newest model, the MS-7000, came with advanced cleaning protocols and basic conversation abilities. The price made him wince, but he clicked "Order now" anyway. Better to spend money on a solution than live in chaos. The confirmation email promised delivery within 48 hours. Marcus felt relief wash over him. Soon his life would have some order again. 2 days later, Marcus hurried home from work, excited to meet his new robotic assistant. The delivery notification had arrived that morning. He bounded up the stairs to his third-floor apartment, key ready. But when he reached his door, he stopped cold. A woman stood there. Not just any woman. She had purple skin that seemed to shimmer in the hallway light. Her hair, if you could call it that, looked like flowing silver threads that moved on their own. She wore a simple white uniform with the RoboServe logo, but her eyes glowed with a soft, golden light. "Greetings," she said, her voice carrying an odd musical quality. "I am Zara. You are Marcus Chen?" Marcus nodded, too stunned to speak. "Excellent. I am here for the domestic assistance position." She held up a tablet showing his order number. But I ordered a robot," Marcus finally managed to say. Zara tilted her head. The gesture looked almost human, but something about it felt different. "There has been a shipping error. The MS-7000 units experienced a recall due to faulty wiring. RoboServe contracted with my agency as a temporary solution." "Your agency?" Marcus's mind raced. "What are you?" "I am Zilani. My people offer domestic services throughout this galactic sector." She smiled, revealing teeth that were perfectly white but slightly pointed. "May I enter? Standing in hallways makes me uncomfortable." Marcus stepped aside automatically, his brain still processing. An alien. An actual alien stood in his doorway, hired to clean his apartment. He'd known about First Contact. Everyone did. 5 years ago, the Galactic Federation had revealed itself to Earth. But aliens working as maids? That was new. Zara entered and immediately wrinkled her nose. "The air quality is suboptimal. When did you last clean?" Maybe 3 weeks ago," Marcus admitted, embarrassment coloring his cheeks. "Unacceptable." Zara set down a small bag he hadn't noticed before. "I will begin immediately. Please, continue your normal activities. Pretend I am not here." But how could he pretend? Marcus watched, fascinated, as Zara moved through his apartment. She didn't walk. She glided. Her movements had an efficiency that no human could match. When she cleaned, her hands moved in patterns that seemed to make dirt simply vanish. "How are you doing that?" he asked, unable to contain his curiosity. Zara paused in wiping down his kitchen counter. "Zilani have natural abilities that make us excellent at purification tasks. Our bodies generate a mild electromagnetic field that breaks down organic compounds." She demonstrated by placing her hand over a particularly stubborn stain. It disappeared in seconds. "That's incredible." "It is simply biology." She returned to work but kept talking. "Your species fascinate us, Marcus Chen. You live in such disorder yet create such marvelous technology. It is contradictory." Marcus laughed. "Yeah, we're pretty contradictory. Want some coffee? Or do you drink coffee?" "I consume liquids, yes. Coffee would be acceptable." As Marcus prepared 2 cups, he found himself relaxing. Zara might look alien, but her presence felt oddly comfortable. She worked while they talked, sharing stories about her home world. a planet where everything existed in perfect mathematical harmony. "No mess at all?" Marcus asked, handing her a mug. "No mess," she confirmed, taking a careful sip. Her eyes widened. "This beverage is chaotic. Temperature variations, bitter and sweet in conflict, caffeinated stimulation fighting the body's natural rhythms." She took another sip. "I enjoy it immensely." They both laughed. The sound of her laughter was like wind chimes, but genuine warmth came through. As the hours passed, Marcus discovered that hiring Zara was the best accident that could have happened. Not only did she clean with supernatural efficiency, but she also asked endless questions about human culture. Her curiosity was infectious. "Why do you keep these?" she asked, holding up a box of old movie tickets. "Memories," Marcus explained. "Each one represents an experience, a moment in time." "But you have digital records. Your phone contains the data of when and where you watched these films." "It's not the same. The physical object carries emotional weight." Zara studied the tickets with new interest. "Emotional weight. Yes, this is very human. My people would find it inefficient, but—" She carefully placed the box back where she found it. "But perhaps efficiency is not everything." By the time Zara finished her first day, the apartment looked brand new. Every surface gleamed, the air smelled fresh, and Marcus could actually see his floor again. "I will return tomorrow at the same time," Zara announced, gathering her supplies. "Wait," Marcus said. "What about payment?" The website said, "The financial arrangement remains the same. RoboServe handles all transactions with my agency." She paused at the door. "Thank you for the coffee and the conversation. Many humans treat us as, how do you say, furniture that moves. That's terrible." "It is what it is. But you are different, Marcus Chen. Tomorrow perhaps you will tell me about these movies you treasure." After she left, Marcus stood in his spotless apartment, feeling strangely energized. He'd expected a robot to make his life easier. Instead, he'd gained something far more interesting, a window into a larger universe. The next morning, Marcus woke early, actually excited for the day. He tidied up the few things he'd used since Zara's visit, not wanting her to think he'd immediately made a mess again. She arrived precisely on time, carrying the same small bag and wearing the same white uniform. But today, her silver hair was arranged differently, pulled back in what looked like a braid but moved like living mercury. "Good morning, Marcus Chen. The apartment remains acceptably clean." "Just Marcus is fine," he said. "And yeah, I tried to keep it nice." Trying is significant. She set down her bag and pulled out supplies. "Today, I thought we might organize your storage areas. Humans accumulate fascinating objects." As they worked together, Zara cleaning, Marcus sorting through old belongings, their conversation flowed naturally. She told him about Zalani cities that floated in the clouds, powered by thought-responsive crystals. He shared stories about growing up in San Francisco, about his parents who'd immigrated from China, about his dreams of designing software that could bridge communication gaps between species. "This is why I enjoy serving humans," Zara said, carefully dusting his collection of vintage keyboards. "You dream beyond your limitations. My people would see a communication barrier and simply accept it. Humans see it and immediately think, I will build a solution. Is that why your people offer domestic services? To understand us better?" Zara paused, her golden eyes thoughtful. "Partly. We are natural purifiers, as I explained, but also, we seek to understand. The Galactic Federation contains thousands of species. Humans are newcomers, but you adapt faster than any we've encountered." "Adapt or die, that's kind of our thing," Marcus joked. "No," Zara said seriously. "Other species adapt or die. Humans adapt and thrive. You take chaos and turn it into opportunity. It is inspiring." They worked in comfortable silence for a while. Marcus found himself stealing glances at Zara, noticing details he'd missed before. The way her purple skin had subtle patterns that shifted in different light. How her movements, while efficient, had developed a more human-like quality since yesterday. "You're adapting too," he observed. "Your movements are different today." Zara smiled, that slightly pointed teeth flash that he was beginning to find charming. "You noticed. Yes, I study and adjust. Your body language is complex but informative. I aim to seem less alien. You don't need to change for my comfort. I change for my own growth. This is how Zelani learned, through mimicry, then innovation." She held up a photo she'd found while cleaning. "Who is this?" Marcus looked at the picture, him and his ex-girlfriend at the beach last summer. "That's Sarah. We broke up 6 months ago. The end of pair bonding. Was it painful?" "Yeah, it was. We wanted different things. She couldn't understand why I worked so much, why I cared more about coding than going to parties. And you could not understand why social gatherings mattered more than creation," Zara said. It wasn't a question. "Exactly. How did you—" "It is a common conflict among ambitious beings. On Zelan we have a saying, 2 rivers may share a source but still reach different oceans." Marcus turned the phrase over in his mind. "I like that. It makes the breakup feel less like failure and more like natural divergence. Human language has such violent terms for relationship endings: break, split, tear apart, as if love is a solid object that shatters rather than a fluid that simply changes course." Her perspective made him reconsider his own pain. They continued organizing, and Marcus found himself sharing more about his work, his frustrations with Earth's slow acceptance of alien technology, his hope that his communication software might help. "Show me," Zara said simply. Marcus hesitated. The project was still rough, full of bugs, but something in Zara's expression encouraged him. He pulled out his laptop and opened the program. "It's basic still, but the idea is to analyze speech patterns, body language, and cultural context to provide real-time translation that goes beyond just words." Zara leaned close, her silver hair brushing his shoulder. She smelled like ozone and flowers, alien but pleasant. "Run it while we talk." Marcus activated the program. As they spoke, the screen filled with analysis. Not just their words, but percentage chances of emotional intent, cultural misunderstandings, suggested clarifications. "Fascinating," Zara breathed. It identified my discomfort with hallway standing as 87% cultural, 13% personal preference. Accurate. "Really? Zelani architecture has no hallways. Transitional spaces make us anxious." She pointed to another readout. "And here, it caught that my question about your photograph was 60% curiosity, 40% concern for your emotional state. I didn't even realize you were concerned. Human pain is easy to recognize. Your species broadcasts emotion like radio signals. We just had to learn the frequency." They spent the next hour testing the program, with Zara offering insights that would have taken Marcus months to discover alone. Her understanding of interspecies communication gaps was intuitive and profound. "Your work is important," she said finally. "When it is complete, it will save lives." "Lives? It's just translation software." "No." Her golden eyes were serious. "Misunderstanding kills more than weapons. Your software could prevent wars, Marcus." The weight of that statement settled over him. He'd been thinking too small, focusing on business applications rather than the bigger picture. "I need more data," he said, mind racing. "More species, more interaction patterns." "I could help," Zara offered. "I have contacts among many species who work in domestic services. We see humans at their most genuine." "Would you really do that?" "Of course. Your success benefits everyone." She paused, then added softly, "Also, I find your project Exciting. Creation is rare among Zelani. We perfect what exists, but seldom make something new. Then we make a good team. I create chaos. You bring order. Perhaps that is why the universe brought us together, Zara said, then quickly turned back to cleaning. The storage area is now organized. Shall we address your bedroom next? Marcus agreed, but his mind lingered on her words. The universe bringing them together. It was just a shipping error, wasn't it? A random accident that placed an alien at his door instead of a robot. But as they worked side by side, Marcus began to wonder if some accidents were actually opportunities in disguise. 3 weeks passed in a rhythm that Marcus had never experienced before. Zara arrived each morning at precisely 8 a.m., and what started as a simple cleaning service had evolved into something much more complex. She still maintained his apartment with her supernatural efficiency, but now she stayed longer, helping him refine his translation software, sharing meals, and teaching him about the vast galaxy beyond Earth. On this particular morning, Marcus waited with coffee already brewed and a new holographic display he'd been eager to show her. But when the doorbell rang, it wasn't Zara's melodious chime. It was harsh, electronic. He opened the door to find a tall figure in a robo-serve uniform. Human, by the looks of it, with a sour expression and a tablet clutched in his hands. "Mr. Chen, I'm Director Phillips from RoboServe Customer Relations. May I come in?" Marcus felt unease creep up his spine. Is something wrong? That's what I'm here to determine. Phillips pushed past him without waiting for permission. His eyes swept the apartment, taking in the spotless surfaces and organized spaces. I see the Zelani has been performing adequately. Zara's been amazing, actually. Philip's mouth tightened. Yes, about that. We've received some concerning reports. You've been keeping the domestic worker beyond contracted hours? She stays because she wants to. We're working on a project together. Mr. Chen, these aliens aren't here to be your friends. They're temporary labor, nothing more. Phillips tapped his tablet. It says here you've been sharing meals with it? Her, not it. And yes, we eat together sometimes. Is that a problem? It's highly irregular. These creatures have specific dietary needs. Human food could make them sick. Marcus thought about how much Zara enjoyed coffee, pizza, and especially spicy Thai food. She'd never shown any signs of illness. I think you're mistaken. I think you're being manipulated. Phillips's tone turned condescending. The Zelani are known for their psychological tactics. They make you feel special, important, but it's all an act. They study us, Mr. Chen. Every interaction is data collection for their Federation masters. The front door chimed again. This time, it was Zara's familiar pattern. Marcus moved to let her in, but Phillips blocked his path. Allow me. The director opened the door with a false smile. Ah, the Zelani. You're late. Zara stood in the doorway, her golden eyes immediately assessing the situation. I am precisely on time. You are Director Phillips. Your reputation precedes you. Does it now? Phillips's smile turned sharp. Then you know I'm here to ensure proper protocols are followed. Mr. Chen has grown too attached. It's time you were reassigned. That decision belongs to Marcus, Zara said calmly. But Marcus noticed her silver hair had stopped its usual flowing motion, hanging still like metal threads. Actually, it belongs to RoboServe. Check your contract. Phillips pulled up a document on his tablet. Clause 47B. Any domestic worker may be reassigned at company discretion if emotional boundaries are compromised. You can't do this, Marcus protested. I paid for a service. Zara provides that service excellently. Too excellently, it seems. Phillips turned to Zara. Gather your things. You'll be transferred to the Morrison account effective immediately. They need someone to clean their restaurant after hours. Minimal human contact. No, Marcus said firmly. Zara, you don't have to go. Actually, she does. Philip's expression turned smug. Unless you'd like to break your contract and pay the early termination fee. Let's see. That would be $15,000. Marcus felt his stomach drop. He didn't have that kind of money. But before he could respond, Zara stepped forward. Director Phillips, you are operating under several false assumptions. Her voice carried a new quality, almost electric. First, that Zalani domestic workers are bound by the same contracts as mechanical units. Second, that RoboServe has any authority over interspecies labor agreements. Third, that I am here merely as a cleaner. What else would you be here for? Phillips sneered. I am here as a cultural liaison, documenting human behavior for the Galactic Federation's Integration Committee. My domestic work is cover for a much more important mission. She produced a crystalline device from her bag that projected official-looking documents in mid-air. As you can see, any interference with my chosen observation subject, Marcus Chen, would constitute a diplomatic incident. Phillips's face went pale. This isn't in our files. Many things escape your files, Zara said coolly. Now I believe you should leave. The director backed toward the door, his earlier confidence evaporated. This isn't over. RoboServe has connections. We'll verify these documents. Please do. The Federation Embassy will be most interested in how your company treats non-human workers. Zara's tone suggested this wouldn't go well for Phillips. After he left, Marcus stared at Zara. Is it true? Are you really here to study me? Her golden eyes softened. Yes and no. I am a cultural liaison, but I chose this assignment myself. After our first day together, I requested to stay. Why? Because you see me as a person, not a curiosity or a tool. She moved to the window, gazing out at the city below. Do you know how rare that is? Most humans either fear us or fetishize us. You simply accept. Marcus joined her at the window. You could have told me. Would it have changed anything? Would you have acted naturally knowing you were being observed? He considered this. Probably not. I would have tried to represent humanity better or something. Exactly. And I would have missed the authentic Marcus Chen, the one who explains movies with passionate hand gestures and burns toast because he's thinking about code optimization. Hey, I've gotten better at toast. Marginally. She smiled, but it faded quickly. Phillips will cause trouble. RoboServe has significant political influence. Then we'll handle it together. Marcus paused, realizing something. Wait, if you're really a cultural liaison, do you actually need this job? No. The Federation pays me well for my reports. She turned to face him fully. But I want this job. These weeks have been illuminating. Just illuminating? Zara's purple skin darkened slightly. He'd learned this was her equivalent of blushing. Perhaps more than illuminating. Your species has a talent for making others feel feelings. Is that your technical assessment? My technical assessment would fill several volumes. She moved closer. My personal assessment is simpler. I look forward to 8 a.m. every day because it means seeing you. Marcus's heart raced. He'd been developing feelings for Zara but assumed they were one-sided, that she saw him as just another subject to study. Zara, A loud crash from the apartment above interrupted him, then screaming, then silence. Stay here, Zara commanded, but Marcus was already moving. They raced upstairs together to find Mrs. Patterson's door ajar. The elderly woman lay on her kitchen floor, clutching her chest. Her emergency alert bracelet was blinking uselessly. The building system had been down for maintenance all week. Call 911, Marcus ordered, dropping to his knees beside his neighbor. Her pulse was weak, erratic. Zara knelt opposite him. The emergency services will take 12 minutes in current traffic. She doesn't have 12 minutes. Can you help her? With your abilities? I can purify. I cannot heal. But even as she spoke, Zara placed her hands over Mrs. Patterson's chest. Though, purification and healing are not so different. Both restore balance. Her hands began to glow with that same golden light as her eyes. Marcus watched in amazement as Mrs. Patterson's breathing steadied, color returning to her face. "What are you doing?" "Removing the blockage. Cholesterol is just another impurity." Sweat beaded on Zara's forehead. Marcus had never seen her show physical strain before. "But this is difficult. Living systems resist change." The paramedics arrived to find Mrs. Patterson conscious and stable. They took her to the hospital for observation, praising Marcus for his quick action. He didn't mention Zara's intervention. Something told him that would complicate things. Back in his apartment, Zara collapsed on the couch. "That was foolish of me. You saved her life. I revealed capabilities I'm not supposed to have." She looked exhausted. "The Federation restricts biological manipulation. They fear species using it as a weapon. But you used it to heal." "Humans," she said softly, "always find ways to turn weapons into tools of peace. Perhaps you're affecting me more than I realized." Marcus brought her a glass of water, sitting beside her. "Are you in trouble?" "Possibly, but watching you rush to help your neighbor, seeing the determination in your eyes, I couldn't stand by." She drank deeply. "This is what my reports miss. The raw data shows humans as chaotic, violent, self-destructive, but it doesn't capture your capacity for instant compassion, your willingness to risk everything for someone you barely know. Mrs. Patterson makes amazing cookies. Pretty sure that factors in." Zara laughed, that wind chime sound he'd grown to love. "Humor as a defense mechanism, another human trait that confounds us." "Maybe that's why you need to stay," Marcus said, "to understand us better, for your reports." "My reports? Yes." She set down the glass and took his hand. Her skin was cooler than human normal, but her touch was gentle. "Marcus, I need to tell you something." The serious tone made his chest tighten. "What?" "The Federation didn't just send cultural liaisons to observe. We're also evaluating Earth for full membership. My recommendation carries significant weight. And I'm compromised. I've grown too attached to my subject. My objectivity is gone." She squeezed his hand. "By every protocol, I should recuse myself, request reassignment." "But you won't." "I can't. The thought of someone else sitting here sharing your coffee, hearing about your day." Her golden eyes met his. "I am not built for jealousy, but I'm learning." Marcus turned her hand over in his, tracing the subtle patterns on her palm. "What happens if they find out? About us?" "There is no us by Zelani standards. We don't form pair bonds as humans do." But I'm not on Zelan anymore." She shifted closer. "I'm on Earth, where impossible things happen daily, where people fall in love across species, where differences become strengths." "Is that what's happening? Are we falling in love?" "I don't know. I have no reference point. But when Phillips threatened to separate us, I felt something new. Protective. Fierce. Very human." Marcus lifted their joined hands, studying the contrast, his warm brown skin against her cool purple. "This is probably a terrible idea. Statistically speaking, yes. The cultural differences alone." He kissed her. It was awkward at first. Her body temperature was different. Her lips had an unusual texture, and he wasn't sure if kissing meant the same thing to her species. But then she made a small sound of surprise that shifted into something like contentment, and her free hand came up to touch his face. When they parted, her skin was shimmering with patterns he'd never seen before, swirls of deeper purple and silver. "Was that okay?" he asked, suddenly uncertain. "That was Chaotic, she said breathlessly. Disorderly, inefficient, completely without logical purpose. His heart sank. Oh, I want to do it again immediately. This time she kissed him, and it was better. She'd already adapted, learned, improved. Very Zalani, very Zara. A sharp knock at the door interrupted them. They pulled apart as Marcus went to answer it. A severe-looking woman in a Federation uniform stood in the hallway, flanked by 2 security officers. Her skin was pale blue, her 4 eyes all focused on Marcus. Mr. Chen, I'm Commander Vax from the Federation Integration Committee. I need to speak with Liaison Zara immediately. Zara stood, her professional mask sliding into place. Commander, I wasn't expecting an inspection. This isn't an inspection. Vax's eyes shifted between them, taking in their proximity, their still-joined hands. We received a disturbing report from RoboServe about fraternization. Then our bioscanners detected an unauthorized use of molecular manipulation in this building. I can explain, Zara began. You'll do so at the embassy, immediately. Vax gestured to the security officers. Mr. Chen, you'll need to come as well. The committee has questions about your involvement. Marcus looked at Zara, seeing his own concern reflected in her golden eyes. They'd known this moment might come, but not so soon. It'll be okay, he said, squeezing her hand. Optimism without evidence, she murmured. Another human trait I'm learning to appreciate. As they followed Commander Vax out of the building, Marcus couldn't shake the feeling that their simple arrangement, a man and his alien maid, had just become something much more complicated, and potentially galaxy-changing. The Federation embassy looked like someone had taken a piece of alien architecture and dropped it in the middle of downtown. Its crystalline walls shifted between transparent and opaque, responding to some logic Marcus couldn't understand. As their transport vehicle approached, he felt Zara tense beside him. Whatever happens, tell them the truth, she whispered. The committee values honesty above all else. Commander Vax sat across from them, her 4 eyes never blinking in unison. It was deeply unsettling. Liaison Zara, you understand the gravity of these violations? I understand you're concerned, Zara replied carefully. Concerned? Vax's voice rose. You used biological manipulation on a human without authorization. You've compromised your objectivity by engaging in... She paused, searching for words. Romantic activities with your observation subject. You've potentially damaged Earth's evaluation process. They were escorted through halls that seemed to stretch longer than physically possible. Other aliens paused to stare. Word had already spread, apparently. Marcus caught glimpses of beings he'd only seen in news broadcasts. Crystalline entities that chimed when they moved, gaseous forms contained in mechanical suits, creatures that seemed to exist partially in another dimension. The hearing chamber was a sphere with no defined floor or ceiling. Gravity worked differently here. They walked along a curved surface, while the integration committee sat at various angles around them, each in their own gravitational orientation. It made Marcus dizzy. State your name for the record, commanded the central figure, a being that looked like living metal sculpted into an approximation of humanoid form. Marcus Chen, software developer, citizen of Earth. And you are the human who has corrupted Liaison Zara? I object to that characterization, Marcus said, finding his confidence. I haven't corrupted anyone. Then how do you explain her violations? The unauthorized healing? The emotional compromise? I explain it as growth, Marcus said. Zara didn't break your rules. She transcended them. Murmurs rippled through the committee. The metallic being leaned forward. Elaborate. Marcus glanced at Zara, who nodded slightly. You sent observers to study us, to categorize human behavior into neat data points. But you can't understand humanity through observation alone. We're not just subjects to be studied. We're chaos that creates order. individuals who become more than the sum of our parts when we connect with others. Pretty words, said another committee member, this one resembling a massive jellyfish floating in a water-filled container. But words don't excuse violations of protocol. What about saving a life? Marcus challenged. Mrs. Patterson would be dead if Zara hadn't acted. Are your protocols more important than a human life? Individual lives are statistically insignificant in galactic terms, the jellyfish replied. And that's where you're wrong. Marcus stood, even though the weird gravity made him wobble. Every individual life matters. That's what makes humans different. We don't think in statistics. We think in stories, in connections, in the potential of each person to change everything. Chaos, muttered someone from the committee. Yes, chaos, Marcus agreed. Beautiful, creative, transformative chaos. Zara didn't just observe that, she experienced it, she became part of it, and she became better for it. I would speak, Zara said suddenly, rising beside him. The committee turned their various sensory organs toward her. Proceed. Liaison. I came to Earth believing I understood humans from our data. Violent, irrational, self-destructive, all true, but incomplete. She touched Marcus's hand briefly. Humans possess something we've never cataloged properly. You call it love, but it's more than that. It's the ability to see strangers as family, to risk everything for someone you've just met, to find joy in discord. You've been compromised by exposure, Commander Vax interjected. This is exactly why we have protocols. No, Zara said firmly. I've been enhanced by exposure. My healing of Mrs. Patterson, I didn't plan it. But watching Marcus rush to help, seeing his desperation to save her, something in me responded. Not Zalani programming, not Federation training, something new. Dangerous, the metallic being pronounced. If humans can alter other species' fundamental nature simply through proximity, then imagine what we could do as full Federation members, Marcus interrupted. Not alter, inspire, not corrupt, elevate. You're afraid of our chaos, but chaos drives evolution. He has a point, said a new voice. Everyone turned to see a figure materialize from what looked like empty air, a being of pure energy contained in a humanoid projection. I am Counselor Prime. I've been monitoring this hearing. The committee members straightened, showing deference. Counselor Prime was clearly someone important. Earth presents a unique challenge, the counselor continued. Every species we've integrated has been orderly, predictable. Humans are neither. The question is, does the Federation need more order, or does it need what humans offer? What do we offer? Marcus asked. Innovation through instability. Progress through passion. You take our rigid structures and make them flex. Zara is not corrupted. She's evolved. She's become something new, a bridge between order and chaos. But the protocols, Vax began, were written for a different time, Counselor Prime cut her off. Before we encountered a species that could make a Zalani feel jealousy, make a biological purifier become a healer, make a cultural observer fall in what humans call love. The word hung in the air like a challenge. Several committee members shifted uncomfortably. I propose a test, the counselor said. If humans truly offer something unique, let them prove it. Mr. Chen claims his translation software could prevent wars. Let him demonstrate this. How? Marcus asked. The Zeranti and the Molochs have been in conflict for 30 cycles over a trade dispute that escalated into threatened warfare. Traditional diplomacy has failed. If your software can find what we've missed, if human chaos can create peace where order has failed, we'll do it, Marcus said without hesitation. We? Zara looked at him. Marcus, this is beyond dangerous. If we fail, we won't fail. He turned to the committee. But I'll need Zara's help. She understands both Federation protocols and human innovation. Together, we can bridge any gap. Counselor Prime seemed to smile, though it was hard to tell with an energy being. The committee will adjourn to consider this proposal. Guards, escort them to comfortable quarters. As they were led away, Vax called out, Liaison Zara, understand that your career, Earth's membership, and possibly more hang on this gamble. I understand, Zara replied. I'm learning that some things are worth gambling for. Their quarters were surprisingly pleasant, a suite that adjusted its environment to accommodate both human and Zalani preferences. Marcus immediately pulled out his laptop and began modifying his software, while Zara paced, her hair writhing with anxiety. You shouldn't have volunteered us, she said. The Zoranti communicate through scent-based pheromones. The Molochs use color-shifting skin patterns. They've been misunderstanding each other for so long, they've forgotten they're miscommunicating. Perfect test case, Marcus said, fingers flying over his keyboard. We just need to create a bridge between incompatible communication methods. Just? Zara stopped pacing. Marcus, teams of xenolinguists have tried for decades. But they were trying to make each side understand the other's language. We need to create a new language they both can share. He looked up at her. Remember what you said about rivers reaching different oceans? We need to build a canal. Her golden eyes widened with understanding. Not translation, transformation. Convert both their communications into a neutral format. Exactly. Help me map the emotional matrices. They worked through the night, Zara providing insights into alien psychology while Marcus coded frantically. She explained how Zoranti pheromones carried layered meanings that changed based on environmental factors. He showed her how to convert those into visual patterns that preserved the emotional content. This is insane, Zara said at one point, reviewing their work. No established theory supports this approach. That's because established theories come from orderly minds, Marcus replied. This needs chaos. As dawn broke through the embassy's crystalline walls, they had a working prototype. It wasn't pretty. The interface looked like something a caffeinated octopus might design, but it functioned. Ready? Marcus asked. No, Zara admitted, but I'm learning that humans rarely wait for ready. The committee reconvened, joined by representatives from both the Zoranti and Moloch's delegations. The tension was palpable. The two groups stayed on opposite sides of the chamber, glaring at each other with whatever organs they used for glaring. Proceed, Counselor Prime commanded. Marcus set up the equipment, hands steady despite his nerves. The problem isn't that the Zoranti and Molochs can't communicate. It's that they're communicating past each other. Every message gets interpreted through incompatible frameworks. He activated the software. Holographic displays appeared between the two delegations. Ambassador Sect of the Zoranti, please express your grievance. The Zoranti released a complex series of pheromones. The software processed them, creating a swirling pattern of colors and shapes that appeared on the Moloch's display. The Moloch's delegation's skin rippled with shocked patterns. Their leader flashed a response, which the software converted into a carefully crafted scent profile. For the first time in 30 cycles, both sides truly understood each other. You thought we were threatening your hatchlings? The Moloch's leader's patterns showed bewilderment. Your trade routes passed through our nursery zones, the Zoranti's scent conveyed. We assumed aggression. We diverted there to avoid your hunting grounds, to show respect. The misunderstanding unraveled like a knot coming loose. What followed was the fastest diplomatic resolution in Federation history. Within an hour, the two species were planning joint trade routes that benefited both. Impossible, Commander Vax muttered. Improbable, Zara corrected with a smile. But humans specialize in improbable. Counselor Prime stood, commanding attention. The committee has witnessed something unprecedented. Not just successful translation, but transformation. Turning conflict into cooperation through, what did you call it, Mr. Chen? Creative chaos, Marcus supplied. Indeed. Liaison Zara, your actions are formally pardoned. More than that, they're commended. You've shown us what human integration could mean for the Federation. And Earth's membership? Zara asked. We'll be fast-tracked. We need what humans offer, the ability to see solutions where we see only problems. The counselor turned to the committee. All in favor? The vote was unanimous, even Vax grudgingly agreeing. As the chamber erupted in celebration, Zara pulled Marcus aside. You did it. We did it, he corrected. Human chaos and Zalani order working together. Is that what we are? Working together? Marcus cupped her face, thumbs tracing those fascinating patterns on her skin. I was thinking more like partners, in every sense. Partners, she repeated, testing the word. Yes, I like that, though I should warn you, I still expect you to maintain a clean apartment. Deal. Though I should warn you, I'm still going to burn toast. I would expect nothing less. They kissed there in the Federation embassy, surrounded by celebrating aliens, having just prevented a war and secured Earth's future among the stars. It was ridiculous, impossible, and perfectly human. Later, back in Marcus's apartment, they sat on the couch planning their next steps. The software needed refinement, and dozens of species had already requested demonstrations. Zara would continue her cultural liaison work, but now officially partnered with Marcus's communication project. I've been thinking, Zara said, sipping coffee. She'd developed quite a taste for it. When I first came here, I thought my job was to clean your apartment. Best mistake RoboServe ever made, Marcus agreed. But I wonder, was it really a mistake? She pulled up something on her tablet. I did some investigating. The MS-7000 robot recall. It never happened. The units work perfectly. Marcus straightened. Then why? The shipping manifest shows my assignment was changed at the last minute. By Counselor Prime. The counselor knew? This whole time? I think they suspected Earth needed a different kind of evaluation. Not distant observation, but immersion, connection. She smiled. They gambled on human chaos affecting me in positive ways. And it worked. Beyond all statistical probability. She leaned against him, her cool skin a pleasant contrast to his warmth. Though I'm glad they didn't tell me. I might have resisted the chaos. Instead, you fell into it. Fell in love with it, she corrected, then colored purple. I mean, I know what you mean, Marcus said softly. I fell too. They sat in comfortable silence, watching the city lights through the window. Tomorrow would bring new challenges. Integration wouldn't be easy, and many on both sides would resist the changes ahead. But tonight they had this. A human and an alien who'd found each other through a supposed shipping error, proving that sometimes the universe's best plans looked like accidents. Marcus, Zara said eventually, I just want you to know I'm terrible at traditional Zalani courtship rituals. They involve synchronized mathematics and perfectly aligned crystal harmonics. Good thing we're making our own traditions then, he grinned. Though I should probably warn you, human courtship often involves meeting parents, awkward dinners, and arguing about where to spend holidays. That sounds wonderfully chaotic. You have no idea. She laughed, that wind chime sound that had become the soundtrack to his life. I look forward to every disorderly moment. As the night deepened, they talked about the future, their future, Earth's future, the galaxy's future. All of it had changed because a purple-skinned alien knocked on a programmer's door instead of a robot. Chaos and order, finding balance in each other. It wasn't the most logical love story, but then again, the best ones never were.